Craig's thought of the day. Let's talk Tottenham. Are outgoings just as important as incomings this January transfer window? And I would suggest yes. We all want these players through the door, whether it be a Savinho or a Marmoush or Rodrigo, whoever. And that's the sort of standard of player we should be going for, in my opinion. The ones we've spoken about, the ones that have been there and done it. Obviously, there's a risk with a player coming in from another league, even if they're experienced, coming into the Premier League. We've seen it time and time again. Sometimes, and doesn't always, work for that player, you know. But I think the outgoings are just as important. And the likes of Bissouma, probably going to leave Spurs at some point soon. Dragusin has been mentioned in dispatches about going. Brennan Johnson, even though I think Brennan Johnson should stay at Spurs, there's rumours, big rumours, that he's going to be leaving the club. Thomas Frank doesn't fancy him. And others today, you know, Vicario as well, rumoured to be leaving, even Ben Davies. So the outgoings are definitely important, and I'm not even going to begin to understand and go through the squad limits on foreign players and everything for the Champions League next phase or whatever. You know, I know we was very close to that. We obviously had to drop at least one player out of the team, Matisse Tell, or out the squad rather. Matisse Tell was dropped out and then came back in, as we all know. So there's issues regarding that as well. And homegrown players, we've really stitched ourselves up with that. So ultimately, I think we've got to look at getting players away from the club as well as bringing them in, because we've been notoriously bad at trying to get players off the payroll and away from the club because they become comfortable. They become, I suppose that's the best word for it. They become comfortable at Spurs. You know, nice training ground, nice facilities, great stadium, good money, and moving those players on, you know, running towards the end of their contract, and we get very little for them. So for me, it's not just about bringing players in. It's about getting the players out that Thomas Frank doesn't want at the club. And as I say, Spurs haven't been very good at that over the last probably decade, to be honest with you. So which of those players that I just mentioned, or any others, would you like to see move on in January? Who do you think has outstayed their welcome? Which players do you think should leave Spurs or are not good enough for Spurs? Get down in the comments and let me know.